Hi everyone, this is Mr. Harden of Harden's Manga here to tell you about Hunter x Hunter Volume 1. Our cover shows the lead of the story Gon on top of a big old frog, with a lot of greenery. Plus, the volume I am showing is that of an omnibus, meaning it comes with two additional volumes in one book. I will only be discussing the first volume to let everyone as readers enjoy the fun of the other two volumes in this great epic adventure. The opening pages of Volume 1 discusses how hunters can come in many different ways, so long as they wish to journey into the unknown, which our lead, Gon, surely wants to be one of them. We see Gon on top of a big tree with his fishing rod in hand and a beautiful world to explore. In all 8 chapters, Volume 1 will have to start an amazing journey. Chapter 1 starts us on Whale Island, Gon's home, where we see him fishing and capturing the Swamp Master to prove to his aunt, Mito, he can take the hunter exam. Now that Gon is out of the tree from the opening pages, we also get to see his design much better, as a kid with spiked hair, shorts, and a fishing rod in hand. His attitude is loud as well, which creates the more whimsical panels here in the opening. Gon is determined to take the hunter exam, as his goal is to find his father, who is already an established hunter. Mito seems distraught over the fact Gon is so gung ho about doing this, as she never even mentioned Ging being a hunter. We then get treated to a flashback of Gon much younger and Kite, a tall, long haired, slender hunter, teaching Gon about the instincts of hunting, and that he knew his father. Here is where you get to see the mangaka shine in the opening for the ability to create monsters. This is in large part due to his past work on hit series Yu Yu Hakusho, which had many demons throughout its run. So expect exceptional creature design moving forward in Hunter x Hunter. Coming back to the story though, we see Gon wave goodbye to the creatures of the forest on Whale Island to return to Mito, who is sulking the fact that Gon is leaving to chase Ging. It's an emotional opening for sure, and we also see everyone at the port of the island wish Gon good luck on his new adventure, including his aunt. The end of chapter 1 has gone on board a beautiful looking ship, and we cast off as readers into an adventurous world. Chapter 2 starts with Gon on his maiden voyage off of Whale Island, with a large storm underway. Many of the examinees are seasick, but not all, as we get introduced to two important characters of the story here, and Leorio, a tall teenager in a suit with some glasses like Neo from the Matrix, and Kurapika, a man with a very distinct vest and charming design. These two, along with Gon, are the only ones left on the boat besides the crew for the Hunter exam. After the storm subsides and everyone finds out another storm is incoming. In order to stay on board the boat, the captain of the ship demands them to tell why they each want to be a hunter. Leorio is driven by money, Kurapika to avenge his clan, and Gon to find his dad. Kurapika and Leorio don't see eye to eye and are about to brawl, with the storm raging until a shipmate is about to go overboard. We see Gon without hesitation jump to save him, and in some absolutely stunning panels, we see both Kurapika and Leorio reach out to save both Gon and the sailor. With that action, all three have a moment of true calm, and it gets Kurapika to apologize, and same for Leorio. All to end the chapter with them passing this preliminary step, and Gon gets to learn how to steer the boat. Chapter 3 sees our now team of three on land with a directive to search for the exam by going to a lone tree in the distance of the island. This leads the three into a Dust Bowl stylized town, with an old woman in the middle announcing the start of the 2-question quiz, which will be our team's next test. Also, take a moment to appreciate the humor in which the mangaka chooses to draw characters, as this old lady's introduction panel is priceless. Another participant arrives and takes the quiz before Gon's team, and we see them move on ahead after giving a response to an impossible choice. Our three members decide to take the exam as well, with Leorio being highly upset, feeling the question is impossible to answer. After the countdown to answer is up, nobody responds, which is actually the correct choice in the quiz, with the choices being who you would save, though. Gon takes it to heart and really can't decide on a person's life over another. showing the cruelty he might face in the future of this series. It's a unique chapter that delves into the main character's thought patterns, which is a lot of fun as it makes you think more on who you'd actually save in the scenarios provided in the book. With the road open to the lone tree off in the distance, though, we are on our way to Chapter 4. Chapter 4 sees our trio arrive to the tree off in the distance with the House of Navigators underneath. A magical beast is found inside with prisoners, and the crew jumps into action. Leorio provides first aid to one of the injured, Gon tracks and attacks the magical beast, and Kurapika saves the damsel in distress. The flair of the scene shows how fluid the characters can be in action scenes, and is really the first instance of many the series has throughout the omnibus. After Gon and Kurapika finish the fight, in interesting manners, we see that the navigators all along were the magical beasts. The magical beasts then let them all know they've passed and are finally able to get to the true exam, which will be harder than any test so far. Chapter 5 has Gon and friends entering the exam hall with an interesting message from the navigator that one out of every 10,000 even make it to the first exam. Gon, surprised by this, asked Kurapika and Leorio why people would keep going through it with such low odds. This is where us as readers finally understand how important the hunter's license is, as it provides fame, fortune, and above all, freedom to go wherever they want. Hunters have an aura about them, and as the team descends into the first test, we see a much rougher crowd than the likes of the ship they first sailed in on. Of note, though, as a lot of characters are introduced, the one of focus is Hisoka, a clown with a murderous intent as he lobs off another examinee's hands. This is the starting line of the first exam, and it's popping off next chapter. Chapter 6 continues to introduce characters who will take part in the exam, with ninjas, number crunchers, Hellraiser lookalikes, and most importantly, Kahlua, a boy Gon's age, with spiked hair and an early 2000s wardrobe, along with a skateboard to boot. With this, all 404 participants of the Hunter exam are present and the first test is underway. The Proctor Zatat states the rules, and it's at first a simple exam of following the leader to the next testing site. A fun moment takes place with Kahlua asking Gon his age upon finding out they are both 12. Kahlua decides to run with Gon for the exam. It's a really heartwarming panel, as for these two, it almost feels like the exam is just a fun exercise, when in reality it is much more rigorous and dangerous. The run continues on as we ramp our way into Chapter 7. Chapter 7 sees the proctor of the first exam ramp things up as only one person has dropped out by increasing his stride exponentially from prior, as they have been running for 8 hours at this point. Leorio and Kurapika have a heart to heart in all of this, where we learn more of why they both want to be hunters. Kurapika is out for revenge, as the last of his clan. The reason being their eyes turn the most beautiful scarlet color when in a state of rage, and stay that way when killed in that state. He wishes to hunt down the Phantom Troop, the group who killed his clan. Leorio states his intentions are really just to get money, so he can become a doctor, as one of his friends had died of an illness in the past. Meanwhile, Gon and Kahlua have the same talk of why they want to be hunters. Gon, it's to be like his dad and to find him. Kahlua doesn't have a reason, though. He just heard the exam is really hard, and that's why he's there. Eventually, the run through dark corridors ends, and the first half of the exam is over. Now, the Swindler Swamp is what they must run through next. And with 40 dropouts already, the number is surely to climb in our final chapter of this amazing Volume 1. Chapter 8 starts with a warning from the Proctor that the swamp will lie to them, and if they don't keep up, they will surely die. A doppelganger creature approaches, and Hisoka, our clown like man, kills him with playing cards, aiming at both Proctor and creature. The exam continues on after a brief explanation, and Kahlua takes Gon to the front, as he can tell Hisoka wants to kill again. With an almost cynical panel explaining he's more like Hisoka than Gon might think. Afterwards, we get a lot of unique creature designs back to back, taking out examinee after examinee. But the worst creature of all has caught up to Leorio and Kurapika. Hisoka hits them with some cards as a marker, and Gon rushes back in a final panel with stakes for the exam and the life of his friends on the line in the exciting end of Hunter x Hunter Volume 1. Hunter x Hunter Volume 1 is a masterclass of manga. Gon is extremely well written and likable for a main lead character, and the supporting cast has incredible motivations for becoming a hunter. With all the world building going on, the omnibus is by far the best way to enjoy this hit series, as you get 3 full volumes for a lower price. The art is stellar as well, and keeps us as readers wanting to return for more as often as we can. I hope that many of you on the fence for reading the manga decide to pick it up after this. Thank you for taking the time to watch, and let me know below what your favorite moment was in Hunter x Hunter. This has been Mr. Harden of Harden's Manga, signing out, and always remember, manga is for everyone.